Hey there, Saints. Pastor Dave here with another weekly devotional for you this Wednesday. Hope you're doing well today. I'm going to start with a reading from Romans 12 in the Message translation. This was one of the lectionary texts for the past Sunday that we didn't use in church, so I wanted to share it today because I think this is a really good one. Paul writes, "Here's what I want you to do, God helping you. Take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for Him. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God. You'll be changed from the inside out. Readily recognize what He wants from you and quickly respond to it. Unlike the culture around you, always dragging you down to its level of immaturity, God brings the best out of you, develops well-formed maturity in you." So, Saints, peer pressure is a tough thing for parents to deal with. It's something that, as we have teenagers in particular, we start to worry about what kinds of influences are our kids hanging out with. Who are the people that they think are cool? Who are the people that they are following the example of? Because we know that it's a natural human tendency to want to be like the people around us. And so sometimes as parents, we might make an effort to make sure that our kids' friends are the kinds of people that we would want our kids to be. No one's really looking after us as adults, though, are they? Nobody is really paying attention to what kinds of influences we have once we grow up. And yet there are so many influences all around us, so many things in our culture that grab our attention, that teach us what we ought to pay attention to, what we ought to value, and what we ought to think. And there's nobody really checking over us to make sure that those are good influences. The things that we watch, whether it's in entertainment or in the news, the places we go to shop, the things that are being sold to us, the people who we follow on Twitter or on whatever social media, the people who we pay attention to and think are leading people in the right direction. These are the influences, these are the cultural forces that adults have to contend with and basically have to make our own judgments about whether or not these influences are good. Paul recommends that the best way we can check our influences is to allow ourselves to be led by the Spirit of God and to allow God to be our first priority. So many times we allow our culture to be our first priority, doing the things that we see around us, getting engaged in, investing in the things that other people seem to think are important. And yet, what would be different? How would our lives change shape or change direction if we said God was the first priority? And the other things that are going on, maybe they're important, maybe there's still things that are worth doing, but God is the one who tells us which way we should move. I think in American culture in particular, one of the things that we don't maybe even realize has become our top priority is our jobs, is work. We have a culture that really values and that really promotes our vocation, even to the point of making it our identity. You know, you think about when you meet someone for the first time and you're trying to get to know them. What are the things you talk about? First thing you usually ask someone is, well, what do you do? Where do you work? And we get to the point where we identify ourselves by our jobs. And we put so much of our time, proportionally, if you think about it, so much of our waking hours go into our work. It makes sense. But is that really the thing that ought to define us? Or are our values the things that should define us? Are our beliefs, are our commitments before God the things that should define us? Saints, I hope you'll think about it. I hope you'll consider what are the sorts of things that you prioritize in your life, and are those things coming from culture or from faith? that's your devotional this week. Hope it's worth thinking about. Hope you're doing well and staying healthy. I'll be praying for you, saints. Please keep praying for me. And I hope see you all again soon. Take care.